Hello, everybody. Today I'm talking about when will it all end? We have all been in isolation, shelter at home, lockdown, and what are the indications for next month or all the different dates that are being talked about? So I'm Komilla Sutton, and I'm going to be talking about when will it all end? What do I see in the planets? When can we get the economy opening up? When the situation will be easier? So the thing is that in uh, Vedic astrology, the key planet that we are looking at is Rahu and Ketu. Because Rahu and Ketu, Rahu is in Ardra and Ketu is in Mula. And they are the key creators of this chaos and this fear and anxiety and all the different issues that are there. Now, Rahu is in its own nakshatra, Ketu is in its own nakshatra, and then Ketu has been conjoining with Saturn. All last year, Ketu, Saturn were there. So it was giving us an indication that something major is about to happen. Then Ketu conjoined with Jupiter in January, and Ketu was with Mars on 25th of February, and then Kal Sarpa by transit. So Kal Sarpa by transit is very destabilizing the world, and I always watch it. So Rahu Ketu hemmed in all the planets, and intermittently the Kal Sarpa is happening. And I think that, the planets were so good, strong Jupiter, strong Saturn, strong Mars. They allowed us to take the right action. Sometimes we think, oh, we had such a big crisis. Why are the planets so good and causing the crisis? You have to think that how the world took the measures, how everybody stayed at home, they listened. Not everybody, but most people, they listened and, avoided a much bigger problem. So sometimes we think only of the problem, but if the fact that the much bigger problem was avoided, and we also listened and we followed the rules. So now what is happening is that the Kal Sarpa Yoga, because that is the major destabilizing force, is on till 29th of May. When Mercury breaks the Kal Sarpa. Actually, a little bit earlier, Moon will break the Kal Sarpa. You can listen to my video on Kal Sarpa. And Moon breaks it, and then Mercury breaks it. But then Mercury has broken it, means it's broken. Moon will break and then come back into Rahu Ketu. So it's not that easy. So that is, to me, that would be the outer aspect of 29th of May, when the Kal Sarpa is broken. So this whole thing of total destabilization, after that things will definitely improve. There's always difficult energy. You can't say absolutely perfect. Sometimes I also think I want everything to be nice. So I think, oh yeah, it'll all be. Life has got ups and downs, but for this particular thing, we have to see. So they are talking about 1st of May, 3rd of May. So is that a good date? Actually, the planets are pretty good. Sun is exalted. Mars is exalted. Venus is in her own sign. But I feel that waiting for Rahu to move out of Ardra would be better. So we have choices. It's not just that what the government say, or what we can also be careful and understand the forces that are there. So it's not, I'm quite okay with those dates, because I feel that there's a lot of strength there. and support as far as the sun is important, and Mars important to have the support. But the Kal Sarpa is still on, and Rahu Ketu are always more important. And they are controlled because Rahu can eclipse the sun, and so that is a problem there. Then, so Rahu moves out of Ardra on 20th of May. There are two calculations for Rahu Ketu. The mean node and true node. I talked about this in my Rahu Ketu talk as well, but the true node moves on 21st of April. Out of Ardra. Rahu will move out of Ardra. Ketu still stays in Mula, but the mean node, which is what I watch, is on 20th of May. So it's almost 1 month difference between these two transits. And what happens is that Rahu will go into Mrigasira. Mrigasira is ruled by moon. It's a much softer nakshatra. It's a much easier nakshatra to deal. Doesn't have the destructive tendencies of Ardra. But the most important thing is that Rahu Ketu, both in their own nakshatra, that alliance will break. So therefore, you have Rahu in a separate nakshatra. Now, it is to be seen that whether 21st, the true node is more powerful or the mean node. I find that by transit, it's worth watching both of them. And definitely at this stage, Sun is exalted and Mars is exalted and Venus is in its own sign. So this is very important. But there are a few things that happen after the 1st of May that we have to pay attention alongside with this Rahu Ketu. Is that on 5th, 6th, Mars changes signs. And then there's a triple retrograde. In California, it is from 10th to 14th of May. Saturn retrograde, then Venus, then Jupiter retrograde. And then Rahu gets out of Ardra. So retrograde can be also positive because we've been going in a certain direction, and it can be positive for the dark forces as well, because instead of going forward, it's retrograding back. So this time I found that sometimes the weakness has been also the strength, because it has stopped the expansive energy, the easy flow. It has made people cautious. So the retrograde as well. So to me, I feel that this step-by-step aspect is more important for us to think about, working with this energy. And of course, then there is eclipse on 21st of June, where that is on the summer equinox. But I think that if we take May as a key time, that even though if we have the stay-at-home orders are lifted, we are still taking care and doing slowly, not being in a rush to do. Now, what happens with Vedic astrology is that we use this concept called Muhurta. We elect a special time. Now, nobody is following that concept. Certainly, the governments are not following it. So, therefore, we can't advise them. But using the concept of Muhurta and choosing an auspicious day to stop this timing. So I think third is better than first. Third, especially in India, is Dashami Tithi, 10th Tithi. It's a very complicated way to look at it, and it's difficult to make one particular time and people to follow it. But I would say that, as far as timing is concerned, to have so many exalted planets, this is a powerful energy if it is opening. Otherwise, even later on in end of May, we have still Venus is in Taurus, but then they're more retrograde energy. So we are looking more backward. So I would say that is what I feel. And I would say that also in as part of our remedy for ourselves, we have to look after ourselves, be conscious of all the lessons we have learned during this crisis time. Every time at some stage we have a new crisis where all the rules change of how we behave, how we deal with situations. So this has been one of those times. And I would say that it is cautiously optimistic that there's no huge drama. The Kal Sarpa is breaking, and so that grip of Rahu Ketu, Rahu is moving out of Ardra. Ketu will move out of Mula only in September. So that means that these forces are still there, but those things have always been there. Our ability to cope with them becomes higher, and our own how we look after ourselves, we look after our environment, all those things are important. So please do also leave some your opinion, what you think, and I will appreciate that a lot. Thank you very much. All the best.